Now, Kivior, we already know what's coming. I don't have to tell you. You already know what's coming. Now, can we score goals against Real Madrid? Yeah, we'll probably get 1 or 2 goals. But it's going to be that return leg in the Bernabeu where the class of Madrid is going to rear its head again. And it's going to show how far we are away from competing against teams like that. And I'll throw you a curveball. Let's say we do get past Real Madrid. We've got 3 other games to go in this competition. And we've got players dropping like flies by the week. So for me, I mean, I just don't see it. Now, if you want me to give you a score, I could easily give you one. I'd probably say it's going to end up being 4-1, 4-2 on aggregate, more than likely. They're going to be cautious. They're not going to come out and go 100 miles per hour like Kenny said. They're just not going to do it because they know that, we have a tendency that we could, if they do that and it goes wide open, then anything can happen. But I just think they're going to play like they played when they played Man City. They're going to play with 2 banks of 4. They're going to wait for us to slip up. And those opportunities that you've seen when we play lesser teams, like Fulham, they couldn't put the goals away yesterday. They had the brother had a clear-cut header yesterday. Couldn't put it away. Now, if that goes in and they scored the other goal yesterday, it's 2-2. When we play other teams that can't finish their food, teams like Real Madrid will punish you for it. Everybody has to be on 100 miles per hour locked into the game. And that's my concern because we have tendencies to lapse. We have major tendencies to lapse in crucial games. That game yesterday had no pressure on it. The game next week will have a lot of pressure on it. You're going to have a lot of pressure. And this team doesn't function well. This manager doesn't function too well with a lot of pressure on it. So for me, I think it's going to be, we'll be in it the first tie. We'll be at home. Crowd be behind them. Soccer, might get a goal. Waneri might get a goal, depending on how that goes. We might get a 1, like I said, 1-2, 2-1, something along that line, maybe even a draw. But when we get back to that Bernabeu and the lights come on and they see the white jerseys hanging, they see the kits, they see the trophies, they walk down the tunnel, they smell the newness of that stadium. And Saliba's walking by Champions League trophies. And you got all this coat. You got Mbappe going over there shaking his hand. The night beforehand, they're going out getting steaks. And they say, hey, man, come on over, man. Come on over.
Can I just say, I'm loving this. I agree with a lot of what you're saying. I just want to say, and I know this won't go down well on this panel, but big up to Mikel Arteta, yeah? Because 3 years ago, we weren't talking about walking out of the Bernabeu next to Mbappe, next to Bellingham, next to these players. Yeah, we're talking about walking out against Bodo Glimt. We're talking about walking out against Zurich in the Europa League.
Well, Christian,
hold on.
Cool, you can go in after, but yeah, I'm just gonna say big up because we're playing Real Madrid in the quarterfinal of the Champions League. Yeah, we're gonna go Bernabeu. Yeah, the conversations we're back in
8th, 5th. So for 3 of those years, we went. He took us to the stadium. He drove us over there. So I mean, I can understand what you're saying. My point is this right here. I was told back when we was 8th, 5th, and 5th, we were supposed to be buying world-class players for games like next week. Where are the world-class players at for the game next week? Nowhere to be found. Not anywhere to be found. We've got one player. We got one player that we hanging our hopes on going into that game next week, which is why everybody was begging for him to come back. I'm fine. Either way, I'm fine with Saka being back, so it doesn't matter to me.
I don't know about one player hanging our hopes on. Before Gabriel got injured, we have, I think, the best defensive partnership in Europe. Centre-back partnership, anyway. Why are you laughing?
Bro, you don't watch other European leagues. How can you say that?
Are they not?
Do you not watch? You don't watch other European leagues? You've admitted that on this channel before, bro.
I watch some.
You would say. Okay. Would you take Rudiger in a combined 11 over Gabriel or Saliba?
I wouldn't take any of them out. Put Rudiger in.
Thank you. That's my point. You don't watch La Liga. Yeah. So you'll put Rudiger out of the squad for Gabriel Magalhaes and Saliba.
Yes.
Yeah, you're crazy.
Why am I crazy?
Who stepped up and scored the winner yesterday when it really had to happen? Oh, Rudiger. Yeah, Rudiger. What's the most important goal Gabriel Magalhaes or Saliba have ever scored in their career?
All right, interview with Rudiger this season, yeah. Shout out Culture Cams and Harry, and I think it was Harry Pinero, yeah. They asked Rudiger who's the best 2 centre backs in Europe, in your opinion. He said Saliba.
But he ain't going to say himself, is he? Let's be real.
In his opinion. All right, so if it's him, then he's first, and those two.
Okay, what about Bastoni? What about Bastoni? What about Bastoni? Do you watch Inter Milan?
I'm talking about partnership, Lee. Okay,
no, that's fine. Fantastic.
Not a partnership by himself, is he? Bastoni, quality player, yeah? Maybe better than Saliba and Gabriel. Not a partnership by himself.
Okay, who's the partner next to Rudiger this season? Can you tell me?
Asenzo's been playing, no?
Who was playing before that?
Well, Militao before he tore his ACL.
Is Militao better than Gabriel or Saliba? Well, you don't watch it, so you don't know. That's my point.
I've watched Militao a lot. It's debatable. Not at the moment. Obviously, he's been injured. So I'm talking about right now. I'm talking about
right now. Gabriel's out, so it's Rudiger and Saliba. However, when I did a combined, I said it on stream. I never did it properly. My point is, Saliba don't get in over Rudiger. Rudiger is so disrespected. It is crazy. Yeah, forget partnerships. Because guess what? I've seen Rudiger have Chouameni next to him. I've seen him have Danny Carvajal next to him. Yeah, yesterday they had Camavinga at left back, mate. Yeah, they had more trophies than most teams in Europe last season and still won 3 trophies and won 2 this season. Yeah, with injury.
Quality team. This isn't my. You're taking what I was saying.
I'm not. However,
you're going on a complete tangent. Yeah, I was just talking about because
you said it's a better centre back partnership than anyone in Europe.
Say that again.
You said it's a better centre back partnership than anyone in Europe.
Centre back partner, I think so. In my opinion, yeah. Saliba and Gabriel together is the best centre-back partnership in Europe at the moment. I'm not saying that Rudiger isn't better than both of them. He probably is.
Wow.
But in terms of a partnership, I think those two are the best. Obviously, Gabriel's now injured. But Matt, what you were saying is we're hanging our hopes on one player in terms of Bukayo Saka. I don't think we are.
Well,
we have a defensive back line. Thomas Partey is a top quality player. Declan Rice, £100 million player. Yeah, Martin Odegaard, whatever you want to say about him, I think he's a quality player. He's been off it this season, but we know his levels.
Did you see? Did you see the behavior of the fan base? All right, let's go back. Let's take it back a little bit. Let's go back before soccer was coming back. It was kind of everybody was kind of we got Madrid. It's going to be tough. But the closer and closer we heard soccer was coming back last week, the fan base went up 10, 20, 30%.
Of course.
And now it's in overdrive. Oh, man, we get ready to roll over Madrid. Madrid are the reigning defending champions. This is the problem I have with our fan base. A lack of respect for the other team. I mean, yeah, in your head, you might think you can beat Real Madrid. That's no problem. That's no problem. But to just say people think we're going to just pull up and just dominate them like that. Like
I don't know who's saying that, though. I don't.
It's just pick a channel on YouTube. They're all over YouTube. I mean, I see him getting up in the morning. I hear him driving. I hear him when I get through the photo shoot. I hear him in the grocery store. They're all over. They're all over YouTube.
I love you, mate.
People saying what? That we're going to roll over Madrid. I haven't heard anyone say that.
This fan base.
Every creator that I know, every Arsenal friend that I have, no, I haven't heard anyone say that we're favourites. Not one person.
So on that premise, then, Super Duper Mick ain't as good as everyone rates him, then, because this is phase 5. Don Carlo, what did he do at Everton?
Going up against Real Madrid.
Yeah, Real Madrid. Yeah, but they're crap. Everyone's been saying they're playing crap. They keep conceding goals.
It doesn't matter how bad Real Madrid are playing. They could still turn up on a day. And when they come in the Champions League group, 22nd, something like that, 21st, 22nd.
So, if somebody is the chat is saying over there, the chat
about 14th, I think.
We saw this same behavior last year with Bayern Munich, and that's actually how I think the game's going to play out. To be honest with you, I think it's going to play out the same way it was with Bayern last year. Close.
Yeah.
I agree. It could do 100%. We were the better team in that first game. I think we should have won it.
Bayern last year. Did we have many injuries against Bayern last year over 2 legs?
No. Nope.
So why did the manager foul against a very average Bayern Munich team?
He got his midfield wrong. He got his midfield wrong.
He got his tactics wrong, did he, Kenny?
Well, no. If you say tactics, but midfield, Bayern Munich, even in the first game, and especially the second, they had a spare man in midfield.
Yeah. I think
that's why they beat us.
I think the underlying issue here is that, and I hope we win. I really do. I hope we beat Real Madrid. We move on. I would love to see Champions League. I'd be the one first on this pound all day. If he wins, it's Bill.
Ibio was starting against Bayern Munich in the first leg last year, by the way.
Yeah.
What was
And he
yeah,
got
caveat that you said about 40 minutes ago? Yeah, was a seasoned vet for Poland, international
Yes.
player. We need to put respect on his name.
Yeah, we do.
And so why did you bring up him then? Because he's a seasoned vet for
He's
Poland.
not good enough to be a starter for us.
You
He's a
know what's
third
going
choice
But
left
no,
centre
yeah.
back.
Okay, so well, he's not a third choice. Who was the second
Yeah,
choice?
he's a
Then?
third choice. Calafiori is a second choice.
But he weren't here last season.
Yeah, I'm not talking about that.
You just said for Bayern Munich last season.
Yeah, Kivior was
Kivior
starting.
started. Yeah, Calafiori was still at Bologna.
Yeah, but Kivior started left back last year.
So he was, yeah. So he was
We
our
didn't have our
second choice.
strongest team. Tommy Asu started in that game as well.
Oh, okay. Tommy, I see. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Jorginho
What about our world class
remember why
£100
Jorginho
million
started.
player Declan English who got dog walked by
Didn't get dog
Goretzka?
walked. He didn't.
He got dog walked by Goretzka.
No way.
He got dog walked by Goretzka.
in the second leg, it's debatable. In the first leg, it was good.
Where was world class Martin Odegaard, the captain, leader, ledge? Yeah, the world class player that we have that Madrid binned after 11 games for their first team. Where was he? Because he was superb in the first leg, in the first half, and then all of a sudden he disappeared.
Real Madrid sell good players. Why'd they sell Mesut Ozil, who you were just raving about?
Okay,
tell him. Did they bin?
Yeah, they
Mesut
did
Ozil?
bin him. Yeah, they did. Do you know why they binned him? And I know that it's on a documentary. Go and watch it, fella.
Asensio that you were raving about. Did they bin him?
Yeah, they binned him.
So you were just raving about him. And
No,
I said,
I wasn't raving about him. I asked him, was he a
You
market?
said he's
I asked
better
you,
than
was he a
Martin
market? He is better than Martin Odegaard. Yeah, I wasn't raving about him. What I was saying is he's better than Martin Odegaard. That don't mean that the standard's up here for that guy. He's a good player. Yeah, and he's walked into the Premier League and bagged about 8 goals in all comps since he's been here. This guy's played 3 games in the Champions League and scored 3 goals. Yeah, to get his team through into the quarters against PSG. Yeah, tonight he scored. Yeah, in the Prem to kill the game off. All 3 of their players tonight, by the way, Rashford, Donnell Malin, our ex-player from the academy, yeah, and him all scored, all market opportunities. Marmouche, market opportunity. Yeah, why couldn't we get him?
This is a different tangent, Bo. I'm not
But my point comes back to what I was saying. Yeah, my point is, yeah, the way we dismiss these clubs is disgusting, and that comes back to what Matty was saying. Right, we overrate as a fan base, not all of us, but a lot of our fan base that we see online, and we're all active online. We overrate our players. You said we got the best centre-back partnership in Europe. Mm-hmm. Yeah, cool. So how comes Liverpool win the league then? Why? Because they got the best forward in the world, apparently. Then, yeah.
They've got a very, very good centre-back partnership as well. I'm sure a lot of Liverpool fans would argue that their defensive partnership is better than ours.
They would, and it is because it's about to win the league.
We've conceded less goals in the Premier League this season.
They've had more clean sheets than us. So which one's better?
It's either or, isn't it?
That's my point. And that's my point. We overrate finishing second and putting the pressure on, then cry about injuries. We're all gassing up that Saka's coming back. Oh, Saka's back. We're not talking about prime fucking Messi here. We're talking about a very good footballer. Yeah, that because we're on our arse, because this manager has mismanaged the funds for 5.5 years, that we're gassing up a geezer who ain't 100% fit, coming back into the team to try and save us against Real Madrid, yeah, who barely anyone watches, and goes, they're lucky. But it's Madrid. When we lose to them and we're out on the 16th, which we will be, there's no shame in losing to Real Madrid, the best team in the world. Really? How comes everyone's shoehorning 7-8 players in the team then on a combined 11? Yeah, because if they're better than us, surely it'll be all of their players in the team. They keep winning, we don't. Yeah, you said to me earlier, Christian. Yeah, Sociedad scored 4 against them at the Bernabeu. Nobody cares, bruv. Who's in the final? Yeah, when they were losing that game, and I said it earlier and I'll say it again, Vinny Jr. was dropping an astronomical biblical stinker. As soon as they started losing that game in the 60th minute or whatever it was, yeah, he went mad. Yeah, he went, nah, we ain't fucking losing today. That was Thierry Henry against Liverpool. Yeah, when he picked the ball up and ran around the old team and scored that trick that day, yeah? And Michael Owen scored, and I can't remember whoever else scored, yeah? Right? That was a Thierry Henry moment there from Vinny. Vinny absolutely run the show as soon as they were losing. Jude Bellingham bangs the ball in the back of the net. Why ain't he shamelessly celebrating, giving it shush, karma, all that crap? No, just run back to the halfway line. Yeah. Why? Because their fans hold them accountable, bro. And this is the problem with English clubs, especially Arsenal and Man United and Chelsea. Yeah, less so with Chelsea, but it's getting there. They're Tottenham, Arsenal, Man United. These clubs, yeah, will do any shameless crap. Yeah, Declan Rice shushing at 1-1. Bruv, you're fucking 12 points behind at that point, and you're shushing. Who are you shushing? Get the ball, run back to the halfway line. No elite mentality, bro. Their fans were booing Vasquez, 5 times Champions League winner. Bro, they have booed their team on the pitch after a final loss to Barca this season, booed every player. And Mbappé'd a lot of them. Manager's name gets called out, boo. Most successful manager in their history. We couldn't beat Ancelotti's Everton under this manager, and we're supposed to go and beat Real Madrid. No chance. Yeah, I'm telling you right now, no chance. We're out on the 16th. Come back, we'll do a fucking stream. Happy days.